welcome to everyone here at the venue and everyone listening in at home. I'm Jillian O'Mara here in the tower together with Branko Kuzele, and out there on the water we have a fantastic team of commentators ready to bring you the 9 repechage races that we have for this afternoon's racing program. At the 1,000-meter mark we have Kat Holloway and Peter Millen, and at the 1,500-meter mark Tim van Vliet and Bramir Vučević.
Srdečan pozdrav svima i dobar vam dan još jednom. Ovdje smo u Tornju, sa mnom je moja draga prijateljica Jillian. Na stazi imamo Petra Milina, imamo Branimira Vujevića. Uskoro će započeti utrke i vjerujem da ćemo do kraja programa imati vrijeme, iako je trenutno lagani kontravjetar na stazi. Nadam se da to neće jako mnogo ometati veslačice i veslače u ovim utrkama repesaža koje upravo očekujemo.
We have just a couple of minutes before the racing gets underway this afternoon. The wind has picked up here at the venue just a little bit of a headwind condition for the athletes out there on the water, but the sun is still out. It's about 20 degrees Celsius. For those listening in at home, it's a really beautiful venue here. The water is almost green-blue out there, very beautiful, and it's a center of recreation here in Zagreb, so a lot of people coming around the venue. They're obviously outside the venue because of the COVID protections, but a lot of people coming to jog and walk out here at this park here in the middle of Zagreb.
Jillian, one thing that I wanted to say, last week the area of Zagreb was a center of rally. So the World Rally Cup was held here in Zagreb, and the week after we have the World Rowing Cup here. So it seems that Zagreb is somehow pointing itself on the chart of the sports in Europe, in a way also in the world, because it's World Rally, World Rowing Cup, and it's really important for us to have this here because we are a sports nation. We are not so... there is 4.5 million people in this country, but when we are good in something, we are really good, like in rowing. So it's a great honor for us to have the World Rowing Cup, all of you coming from the different countries. And it's such a big pleasure for us to show you the beauty of our country, of our city, of our race lake here. And I hope that next time when you come, we'll have more time so that we or I can show you a little bit around, because it's beautiful.
Absolutely. We hope that also in the future fewer COVID protections will be in place, but great that we're able to have an event here going on, and we're just about to get underway with the first race of this afternoon session. Just 30 seconds to go here until we get underway with the repechage in the lightweight women's single sculls. We're back to side-by-side racing here this afternoon, so the time trials that we had this morning, we've switched back to side-by-side racing for this afternoon. So lining up in lane 1, Germany. In lane 2, Austria. In lane 3, the Netherlands. In lane 4, Germany 2. And in lane 5, Moldova.
Prema tome, sada kreću repesaž utrke koje će biti u onom obliku u kojem ste ih obično znali gledati ukoliko ste pratili veslanje, a to je da će se utrke održavati sa zajedničkim startom svih učesnika u pojedinoj utrci. U prvoj utrci gdje nastupaju skifistice u kategoriji lakih veslačica kreću, dakle, Njemačka prva posada, Austrija, Nizozemska, Njemačka druga posada i Moldavija.
So we're just waiting for this race to get underway. Looks like there might be a little bit of a delay up there at the start. We're just waiting for these scullers to get underway. 4 of them will go through directly to the A final out of this repechage. So with 5 scullers out there on the water, the goal in this race is not to be last So as we're waiting for this event to get underway, again, 4 going through of these 5 scullers. Just a quick update for everyone here on the venue and listening in at home. We have a slight delay. The bow numbers need to be changed up at the start, so we're just waiting for that to get all corrected and the right bow numbers on all the boats up there at the start, and then we'll get underway. We'll keep you updated as soon as we know more.
Dakle, imamo samo mali zastoj, čekamo još neke podatke koji su potrebni kako bi mogli imati sve što nam je potrebno da znamo tko i gdje i koji natjecatelji se nalaze u kojoj stazi. Trenutno je to nešto malo izmijenjeno. Čekamo da dobijemo te podatke i čim to bude bilo moguće, krenut ćemo sa prijenosom i sa utrkama. Hvala vam lijepa na razumijevanju.
And they are underway in the repechage of the lightweight women's single sculls. Just going to update the lanes for you. In lane 1, Moldova. In lane 2, the Netherlands. In lane 3, Austria. In lane 4, Germany 1. And in lane 5, Germany 2.
Utrke su krenule, dakle u stazi broj 1 nalazi se natjecateljica Moldavije, u stazi broj 2 Nizozemske, u stazi broj 3 Austrije, u stazi broj 4 Njemačke prva i u stazi broj 5 Njemačka 2.
So Germany won, came into this race with the fastest time out of this morning's heat. Katrien Thoma, one of the most experienced out there on the water. It's a very young set of 5 out there on the water right now, but currently in the lead is actually her countrywoman, Germany 2, Louise Asmussen, who's currently leading as they're coming up towards the 500-meter mark. Louise coming out of the under-23 crew. She raced in the lightweight women's double and finished 3rd back in 2019. So as they approach the 500-meter mark, still looking like Louise Asmussen is leading just slightly ahead of Katrien Thoma.
Trenutno koliko pratimo i možemo pratiti ovu utrku, natjecateljice iz Njemačke, prva i druga posada drže se negdje vrlo blizu. Evo sad imamo prve prolaze. Na prvom prolazu na 500 metara prva je natjecateljica Louise Asmussen iz Njemačke, zatim je austrijska veslačica, potom su gotovo izjednačene veslačica Toma Katarin iz Njemačke i Toska Kettler iz Nizozemske i iza njih moldavska veslačica Fedorenko.
So through 500 meters, and Louise Asmussen still out in the lead. She's leading ahead of Lara Tiefenthaler from Austria, and then currently in that 3rd spot is Toska Kettler from the Netherlands. Again, all 1 through 4 of these crews will go through to the A finals. So the goal in this race, not to come last through the 500-meter mark, looking to be in that 5th position at the moment is Ekaterina Fedorenko of Moldova. But again, still very much left to go in this race. They're coming up on 750 meters. And Kat, I think you're out there at the 1,000-meter mark, ready to tell us what this race is shaping up like out there on the water.
Hi, Julie. Yeah, I'm here at 1,000 meters with my Croatian co-commentator, Peter Milan. And the first thing I can tell you from the center of the course here is that the conditions are quite different to this morning. There's a definite breeze now coming across the course from lane, the opposite side of the course. We're based nearest to lane 6, so from 1 across to ours. And it's giving us a bit of a different feel as we're standing here talking about the rowing. So this repechage, these athletes all raced this morning in the time trial format in the heat, and with 4 boats to go through out of these 5, by halfway point we've established a 4-boat a clear 4-boat line up here with an advantage over the 5th place crew. So the 2 German scullers, the Austrian, the Dutch sculler, they're moving really well here through 1,000 meters, and it's the Moldovan sculler Ekaterina Fedorenko. She's just 16 years of age, who's back in 5th place, and she finds herself with about a 100-meter gap to make up to the rest of the field. So I think the 4 crews ahead of her can be confident at this stage of a place through to the A final.
Vrlo izjednačena utrka prvih 1000 metara, iako su sve 4 posade osigurale plasman u repasažu za dalje. Izgleda da niko ne želi popustiti i do kraja u prvom dijelu je izgledalo da ove posade Njemačke su izbjele naprijed, ali sada posada Austrije i Nizozemske izgleda preuzima vodstvo prema poziciji 500 metara.
So the crews are moving through the 3rd quarter of the race now. The German 1 sculler, Katrien Thoma, is in the lead. She has a slight advantage over Lara Tiefenthaler and Toska Kettler. So they're coming towards the 1,500-meter mark, and it's Tim von Vliet alongside his Croatian co-commentator there.
Yeah, thanks, Kat. We're here at the 1,500-meter mark, and although there is indeed a slight crosswind coming across the course, it is still wonderful conditions here at the rowing venue in Zagreb. We can see the lightweight women sculls coming towards us. Bit of a crab there from Katrien Thoma from Germany, closest to us. She had to make a slight course adjustment and just caught a little crab with at 600 meters left to go, which allowed the sculler right next to her, Lara Tiefenthaler from Austria, to claw back some of the deficits. And it's shaping up to be a great race between 3 crews as they approach the 500 meters to go. It's actually a wonderful push from the Dutch sculler Toska Kettler, who is vying for the lead with Katrien Thoma from Germany. I think the Dutch sculler just in front, but it's by a bow ball as they cross the 1,500-meter mark.
I evo, prošli su oznaku od 500 metara, znači ovo je repesaž, prve 4 ulaze, međutim prve 3 Njemačka, Austrija i Nizozemska se bore za prvo mjesto, što je dosta važno, jer ako sutra bude opet ovakvi nekakvi vjetar s boka, znači bit će bitno zbog staza. Moldavija je ostala zadnja, to je mlada veslačica, ima 17 godina, najvjerojatnije skuplja prvo iskustvo. I kao što sam rekao, znači Nizozemska prva, Njemačka pa Austrija.
So I stand corrected. It was actually Katrin Thoma from the Frankfurter Rudergesellschaft Germania who was in the lead at the 1500 meter mark, but it was just by I think 800ths of a second in front of the sculler from the Netherlands. So Tosca Kettler and Katrin Thoma fighting it out with I think a little over 200 meters to go. Back to you, Gillian.
That's right. We've got 3 crews charging towards us here towards the finish line. And I think it's going to be a great little tussle between the Dutch sculler and the German sculler out there. In between them currently is the Austrian sculler. So she'll be looking to her left, looking to her right, just to see if she can get back into play as they come into the final 100 meters of this race.
Evo, približavaju se veslačice cilju. Ono što je zanimljivo po meni reći je da je veslačica Austrije čitavo vrijeme veslala 2 ili 3 zavesle niže od svojih konkurentica, a da je njezina brzina bila gotovo vrlo blizu. Sada je podigla broj zaveslaja i bliže se kraju. Digle su na broj 35 zaveslaja, a ona je još uvijek 3-4 zaveslaja niže.
And up into the final strokes, Katrin Thoma just putting in a little extra push there, trying to get across the line. She does it. Katrin Thoma of Germany finishing across the line first, followed by Tosca Kettler of the Netherlands. Lara Tiefenthaler coming across in the 3rd position, and then we're looking back to Germany to Louisa Asmussen, who will take the 4th spot through to the A final. And a great performance from the Moldovan sculler, just 16 years of age, getting in some excellent racing here in Zagreb. She's coming up towards the line now.
Dakle, veslačice su prošle kroz cilj. Prva je bila Katrin Thoma iz Njemačke, ali kada gledamo njezino vrijeme, čini se da je vjetar ipak napravio svoje, jer su nešto sporije vremena nego što su bila u jutrašnjim trkama. Druga je Nizozemka, Kettler Tosca. Treća je Austrijanka, Tiefenthaler Lara. I četvrta je Louise Asmussen, koja također je ušla u finale.
Already on the course now, the lightweight men's single sculls repechage race. In lane 1, Turkey. In lane 2, Slovakia. In lane 3, Hungary 2. In lane 4, Bulgaria. And in lane 5, Slovenia. I'm going to go all the way out onto the water for Kat to catch us up, as they're already past you at the 1,000 meter mark.
Krenula je utrka lakih veslača u skifu. Dakle, u prvoj stazi je Slovenija, u drugoj Mađarska, u trećoj Turska, u četvrtoj je Slovačka i u petoj Bugarija.
Kat, how's it looking out there?
Gilly, it was a great move by the Turkish sculler Enes Yenipazalic as they came past us at 1,000 meters. He moved through to take the lead, and it's still pretty tight between these scullers through the 3rd quarter of the race. The lead has already changed, though, as they're moving through the section. It's the Bulgarian Lazar Penev who's ahead now. The Slovakian alongside him up at 39 strokes a minute, trying to push on. So 4 of these 5 boats are going to go through. And at the moment, the critical position, that 5th position, is held by Roland Szigeti of Hungary. So they're coming inside of you now, Tim. How's it looking?
Yeah, it's a very tight race here with 600 meters left to row. We have several scullers looking to catch to row themselves into the A final, and it's developing a great race. Lots of enthusiasm coming from the coaches right next to us at the commentary position. But I reckon it's the sculler from Turkey just in front of the the sculler from Bulgaria, but it's 3 crews abreast as they pass the 1500 meters.
U drugoj utrci repesaža 500 metara do kraja Mađar i Slovenac su ostali malo do zada, 2 dužine, ostala 3 se bore za prvo mjesto. Treba napomenuti da prva 4 ulaze, znači imamo borbu za to 4. mjesto koje ulazi u finalu između Mađarske i Slovenije.
Those 3 crews still battling it out for the first, second and third spot, but who's going to get that crucial 4th position into the A final, Gillian?
Yeah, that's a really good shout, Tim. It's such a close race out there between the top 3, but then a close race between the 2 behind them. And again, we're looking for those spots 1 to 4 through to the A final. So I think it's a very close race out there between Slovenia and Hungary too for that final spot into the A final. So they're coming into the last 250 meters of this race. And currently out in the lead is Slovakia, Petr Zelenka. He had one of the fastest times coming into this race, so we expect him to have a good race here, but he's being very much challenged by the Bulgarian and the Turkish scullers as they come into the final meters.
Evo nas u samom finišu utrke lakih samaca. Ovdje u repesažu trenutno se odvija stvarno velika borba i vrlo je zanimljivo da na 2 kilometra su ovi čamci toliko zapravo poravnati, gotovo se manje više 4 čamca nalaze negdje u dužinu i pol i sada ćemo vidjeti kako će proći kroz cilj.
Down to the line, and I think Petr Zelenka is going to do it for Slovakia out there in the lead. Yes, he does. Crossing the line first, Petr Zelenka of Slovakia. Then we behind him, Bulgaria coming through in second, Turkey in third, and that 4th position looks like it's going to go to Hungary too, just ahead of Slovenia.
Evo, mogli ste vidjeti, dakle, ovako. Poredak je sljedeći. Prvo je stigao veslač iz Slovačke, zatim iz Bugarske, treći je veslač iz Turske, 4. Mađarske i 5. je Jaka Malešić iz Slovenije.
Coming down the course now, the repechage of the men's double sculls. In lane 1, Estonia 1. In lane 2, Croatia 3. In lane 3, Finland. In lane 4, Slovakia. In lane 5, Croatia 2.
Krenula je i utrka dvojaca skull. Dakle, u prvoj je traci Slovačka, u drugoj Finska, u trećoj Estonija, u četvrtoj Hrvatska treća posada i u petoj Hrvatska druga posada.
Across the 1,000-meter mark, Estonia looking to be out in the lead, Kat.
Estonia looks strong through this first half of the race. This crew, they've been together for a few years. They took a 6th place at the Under-23 World Championships back in 2019. And here they're looking strong together. They've led from the start. They've led through every timing marker. And alongside them, we've got 2 Croatian crews. So I'll pass to Peter so he can talk a bit about that in Croatian.
Pa evo opet napeta utrka na 1000 metara, 2 hrvatske posade, jedna je za sada u normi, znači prve 3 posade idu dalje u finale. Za sada nešto bolja posada Fran Šuki i Goran Milovac, ali ne zaostaju puno ni Patrik Papac ni Mihael Điroto. Znači utrka je otvorena do kraja, kao što su i obično utrke u repasažu, vrlo napete, ovo će biti do krajnjih, do zadnjih nekoliko stotina metara napeto.
So 3 boats to go through to the AV semi-final, and Estonia is still leading the way as they come towards 1,500 meters.
It's developing as a great race. It's still the crew from Estonia in the lead, as you correctly call it, Kat. They have taken about a boat length out of the crew next to him from Finland, who are in a 2nd position. And the 2 crews from Croatia nearest to us in lane 4 and 5 are having a great tussle between them. It's just about a boat length for the Croatia 3 crew, with Croatia 2 just lagging behind. And on the far side, we have the crew from Slovakia in 5th position, but a wonderful rhythm from Estonia out in front.
Evo ga, prošli su 500 metara, Estonija je u vodstvu uvjerljivo, znači prva dva ulaze, prva tri ulaze u polufinale, posada Girotto i Papac je otprilike dužinu na 500 metara ispred Milovca i Šuka, borba se nastavlja znači za prva tri mjesta koja vode u polufinale.
So just three crews to the AB semi-final. Finland and the crew from Estonia look good, but who's going to take that third spot, Gillian?
Yeah, I think Croatia too has a bit of work to do if they want to make up that ground that they've lost to Croatia 3 as they're coming towards the final stages of this race. So the first 3 through, right now it's looking like Estonia, Finland and Croatia 3, but we're very curious to see if Croatia too has a little bit of a sprint there out on the far side.
Na kraju utrke, evo sada ćemo upravo vidjeti gdje imamo i 2 hrvatske posade. Za sada izgleda da je Estonija ta koja će osvojiti prvo mjesto, druga će biti, čini se, Finska i potom slijedi borba između 2 hrvatske posade, da li je to posada Hrvatske 3, Girotto Papac ili Hrvatske 2, Šuk, Milovac. Evo upravo pratimo i gledamo. Sada ćemo vidjeti, prolaze kroz cilj prvi Estonci. Potom
across the line there, Estonia coming through in the lead ahead of Finland, and it looks like Croatia 3 is going to grab that third spot through to the AB semi-final. Croatia 2 and Slovakia just missing out. They will head to the C final of the men's double sculls.
Mm-hmm.
We head back up for the first repechage of the men's single sculls. In lane 1, Croatia 2. In lane 2, Austria. In lane 3, Hungary 2. In lane 4, Benin. In lane 5, Slovenia 2. And in lane 6, Poland.
Dakle, idemo i na utrku skifova. Ovako, imamo dakle posadu u Slovenije 2, u prvoj stazi, u drugoj stazi Mađarska 2, u trećoj Hrvatska, druga posada, u četvrtoj Austrija, u petoj je Benin i u šestoj Poljska.
So these crews quickly approaching the 1,000-meter mark, and out there making the best of it looks to be Poland, Kat.
That's right. Peter Pleminski for Poland is right up there in front, and not far behind him is the Slovenian sculler Filip Matej Pfeiffer. So the Polish sculler has had a great first half. He was leading to 500. He's led all the way to 1,000. And in the centre lane there, Lukas Reim for Austria really has found an incredible rating as he came through 1,000 metres at 43 strokes a minute, but it hasn't done much to take him up alongside into one of those 2 qualifying slots for the AB semi-final.
Izvrsna borba opet na 1000 metara. Za sada Poljak na prvom mjestu. U ovoj utrci nastupa i za Hrvatsku David Šajn. On je trenutno na 4. mjestu. Prva 2 mjesta vode izravno u finale. Iako nije daleko, ima dosta mogućnosti još u drugih 1000 metara za dostići to drugo mjesto.
So 2 boats to progress to the AB semi from this repechage. It's looking really good for Peter Pleminski still. The Slovenian sculler now is under attack from Lukas Reim. Lukas Reim has come down from his 43 strokes a minute, but he's still at 37, outrating the Slovenian who's at 33. They're coming in sight of you, Tim.
Yeah, just about, we can see the sculler from Poland indeed very close to us in lane number 6. He looks really calm in the lead at this stage of the race. Looking to his right, he can see the Austrian sculler Lukas Reim, who is overrating, I think, almost everybody in the field at 38 strokes a minute. And and Lukas Reim is a little look there to his right to the Slovenian competitor in lane number 1, who is rowing long and strong with 500 meters left to go. I think the sculler from Slovenia actually trying to get back on the Polish sculler, but the Polish sculler still in the lead, about 3/4 of a boat length with 500 meters to go.
Na 500 metara prije kraja Poljak je u vodstvu, drugi je Slovenac, malo zatim Lukas Reim iz Austrije i pola dužine iza njega je naš David Schein. Nizozemac je Benin je ostao već odozada. Nadamo se da će David Schein malo ubrzati jer samo 2 mjesta vode dalje u finale.
So a couple of crews trying to get into the AB semi-final, just 2 places to that AB semi-final. I think the Polish color looks very good, but it's going to be a very tight race for that last place in the AB semi-final.
It's a very tight race indeed, Tim. Yeah, Poland, a bit of a surprise coming into this race with not the fastest time out of this morning's heat, but he's had a great race here now out in lane 6 and really leading the way. But as I'm saying that, Slovenia too, on the absolute opposite side of the course, is making a big charge trying to get back into that leading position. And of course, keep an eye on Austria, Lukas Reim.
Nevjerovatno je pratiti koliko je austrijski veslač zapravo digao tempo vesla skoro na 42 zaveslaja i trenutno se čini da mu se na određeni način to isplaćuje, iako je poljski veslač, koliko se može ovako vidjeti, ispred njega. Sada ćemo ući u sami finiš.
This has been such a sprint from the Slovenian here. Filip Matej-Pfeiffer making a massive sprint here on the near side. He's gone up to a rate 37.38 and he looks across, all the way across to the Polish sculler just to double check that he's going to make it into the AB semi-final, but he does. Slovenia too crossing ahead of Poland. Those two looking set to go through to the AB semi-final. Coming in next will be Austria. Then we're looking back to Croatia 2 and behind them Hungary 2 and Benin.
Dakle, evo, imali smo priliku vidjeti u samom finišu trke je slovenski veslač uspio preteći poljskog veslača, stvarno sjajan finiš. Dakle, njih dvoje odlaze u finale. Treći je veslač Austrije i nakon toga dolaze veslač Hrvatske, naš David Schein, koji nažalost će biti u C finalu i mađarski veslač, kao i na kraju evo ga i veslač iz Benina.
Off the start now, the second repechage of the men's single sculls. In lane 1, Croatia 3. In lane 2, Hungary 1. In lane 3, Slovenia 1. In lane 4, Bulgaria 1. And in lane 5, Slovenia 3.
Upravo su krenule i utrke skifova, dakle druga grupa u repesažu. U prvoj stazi Croatia 3, Hrvatske 3, Boris Cesarec. Zatim ide prvi veslač Mađarske, pa prvi veslač Slovenije, prvi veslač Bugarske i treći veslač, to je treća posada Slovenije.
So 2 crews through to the AB semi-final out of this race. The rest will go through to the C final. It's really interesting to see how these athletes perform differently during a time trial versus side-by-side racing mentally. They're 2 very different races, and these athletes here in the repechage, some of them might not have performed so well in the time trial, but they're back in the repechage and looking really, really good. So out to the early lead here as they approach 500 meters is the sculler from Hungary. He recently qualified for the Tokyo Olympic Games at the final European qualification regatta a few weeks ago in Varese, but he's looking to make the best of it as they come up to the 500-meter mark.
As you said, Gillian, the Hungarian rover had the preparations 2 years ago here in Jarun. He was working also with Bralic, and one of the things that helped him gain the Olympic Games norma was also working here. I know, I saw him, and we became good acquaintances. And he was here. His father was also a great drover before. So it's in the family, as they would say, the force is strong in their family. And as a friend, we would like him to have all the best results that he can. As we can see now, he is fighting for the first place after the 500 meters. Then is Aljancic Miha from Slovenia, and the two crews from Bulgaria and our Boris Cesares are also trying to find their way somewhere better.
That's absolutely right. As we're talking, Rajko Hrvat of Slovenia making a bit of a push there into the lead, but Hungary's Bendiges Petivar Molnar trying to stay with him as they come up on the 750-meter mark.
It's been a good first half for Rajko Hrvat of Slovenia. So he normally races as a lightweight, and we saw him 3 weeks ago race in the lightweight event at the European Championships, where he finished in 7th place. But here he's taking part in the heavyweight category, and he's really dominated the first half of this. He's got clear water now over the rest of the field. The closest to him is Hungary's Bendiges Petivar Molnar still. But the Slovenian at the front of the field is not letting up on the rate. He's still at 37 strokes a minute. And it looks great as he comes towards 1,000 meters.
Na poziciji 1000 metara u uvjerljivom vojstvu Slovenac Rajko Hrvat. Vrlo blizu iza njega Mađar Petervari. Izgleda da su za sad zacementirali svoje pozicije, ali u stazi broj 6 nadire i druga posada Slovenije koja ugrožava Mađara. U ovoj utrci sudjeluje i za Hrvatsku Boris Cesares, trenutno na 5. mjestu. Kao što smo rekli prije, prve dvije posade vode izravno u finale.
Moving away from 1,000 meters, Rajko Hrvat for Slovenia is still leading the second repechage of the men's single sculls. So 2 boats here to go through to the AB semi-final, and vying for that second slot right now is a race between the other Slovenian sculler and the Hungarian. So Miha Aljancic for Slovenia here in lane 5, closest to our commentary position. He's at a rate 32, the Hungarian at rate 31, and the two of them are pretty much matched side by side, but only 2 crews to go through. It looks good for Rajko Hrvat, and at the moment it's very close for the second place. They're coming towards you, Tim.
And still conditions very good, nice flat water, a bit of a crosswind still, but it's not really that much trouble for these athletes. We can see the sculler from Slovenia, Rajko Hrvat. He's in the lead, and you can see that he used to compete in the lightweight events because his rate of striking is a bit higher than the rest of the field, stroking 35 strokes a minute. And you can see a little look to his left, just checking where he is. Well, there is 550 meters still left to row, but he looks like he's in control of this race. A couple of lengths clear over the rest of the field, but a nice tussle developing between the sculler from Hungary, Petivar Molnar, who's taken second place away from the other sculler from Slovenia, Aljancic, who is now in 3rd position, and heard from his coach just now that he has to push to get into the AB semi-final, I must say, sorry.
Tako, bliži se kraju ova utrka, Rajko Hrvat vodi uvjerljivo, a za drugo mjesto se bore Mađar i drugi Slovenac Aljancic. Treba napomenuti da su se vremenski uvjeti malo promijenili, opet je počeo puhati malo s boka vjetar, tako će to možda dodatno malo usporiti trke, ali na muci se poznaju junaci.
So a bit of a headwind developing as we speak. Will it be the second Slovenian crew to the AB semi-final together with Rajko Hrvat, or will it be the Hungarian sculler in lane number 2?
It's such a good question, Tim. But at the moment, the odds are in favor of Hungary as they're coming towards us into the final stages of this race. I just see the Slovenian sculler taking his right up, trying to get back into it. He's glancing across to his left, trying to see if he can see Hungary's sculler, to see if he can get back in contention. But everything left to play as they come into the final strokes of this race.
Zanimljivo je vidjeti trenutno da najveću brzinu čamca ima naš cesarec Boris, koji je trenutno u čamac najbrži, s tim da Slovenija 1, prva posada, Rajko Hrvat čini se da će stići, ne da se čini, nego će stići prvi, ali se Boris počeo buditi i vidjet ćemo gdje će i što će uspjeti napraviti. Za sada, evo ga, prošao je, Rajko Hrvat je prošao prvi, drugi je predstavnik Mađarske, treći je Slovenija 2 i četvrti je Boris Cesarec, a peti je Bugar Nejkov.
So across the line first there, Rajko Hrvat of Slovenia taking that first spot through to the AB semi-final. And the Hungarian Bendigas Petavari Molnar has done enough here to make it into the AB semi-final with him as well. Then looking back on the results of the rest of the field, the Slovenian sculler, Slovenia 3, Miha Aljancic will go through to the C final, and then Croatia going through to the C final as well, and going through to the D final, Bulgaria. We head back up for the repechage of the men's pair. 6 boats contesting this repechage. The first 4 will go through to the A final. In lane 1, Hungary 2. In lane 2, Croatia 2. In lane 3, Spain. In lane 4, Belarus. In lane 5, Slovenia. And in lane 6, Turkey.
Dakle, krenuli su dvojci bez u repesažu. U prvoj stazi nalazi se Mađarska, u drugoj je naša posada Hrvatske 2, Borković-Vuković, u trećoj Španjolska, u četvrtoj Bjelorusija, u petoj Slovenija i u šestoj Turska.
The very experienced Spanish crew out there on the water. 5th place finishers from the 2020 European Championships and from the 2019 World Championships. They're leading the way as they crossed the 500-meter mark. Behind them currently is Turkey. And again, 4 through to the A final. Currently in those spots, Croatia 2, and coming through in that 4th spot, Hungary 2. So those missing out at the moment, Belarus and Slovenia. But again, still a lot to play in this race. They're coming up on the 800-meter mark, and Spain still out in the lead.
Yeah, the Spanish crew have taken this first half on really hard. They've been at 37 strokes a minute for much of it, and they're leading now by clear water over Turkey, who are the closest to them. But it's still really tight through this middle section of the race between the rest of the field. It's good to see the Spanish crew back here. They've got medals at European level and World Cup level, 3 or 4 bronze medals to their name in this discipline, and also in the men's 4. So here they're coming through 1,000-meter mark, and they've got over a length of clear water ahead of the rest of the field, and it's going to be super tight between the rest of the crews for these 4 places to the A final. So moving away from 1,000 meters, you can probably hear the coaches in the background urging the crews on.
Za sada na 1000 metara posada Španjolske u uvjerljivom vodstvu i za njih se vodi velika borba za preostala 3 mjesta koja vode u finale. U ovoj utrci nastupa i posada Hrvatske Borković-Vuković, za sada na 5. mjestu, odnosno 5. mjestu, ali sa nevelikim zaostatkom do 3. mjesta.
The crews moving through this third quarter of the race. Spain still in that solid rhythm at 37 strokes a minute. Belarus have taken it up to 38 to try and challenge for one of these spots in the A final. Belarus now the closest to the Spanish crew, but they haven't really made a big dent in the other crews. Slovenia still right in touch with them, as are Turkey. Both crews at 37 strokes a minute. Really exciting stuff in the final stages of this repechage.
an absolute bulletproof rhythm from the Spanish strokeman Garcia Ordonez, who is leading his crew down the race course at 36 strokes a minute. I think they're having to contend with this slight headwind conditions, because this morning, when there was a little less wind, they were rating 38 up to 40 strokes a minute at this stage of the race. But they look very good, nice and controlled at the back end, quick to the catch, and then a very good synchronized leg drive from that Spanish pair. They cross the 1500 meters mark as we speak. Several boat lengths of clear water up on the crew from Belarus, and it's a very tight race here on the near side between Slovenia and Turkey for third and fourth, and on the far side it's a great race between the crew from Croatia, who's trying to get into the front of the race, but I think they left it too late, but out in front it's still that crew from Spain.
Znači u vodstvu Španjolska uvjerljivo, Bjelorusija, Slovenija, Turska drže ta sljedeća 3 mjesta. Mađari su otprilike dužinu za Turcima koji su četvrti, pokušavaju nadoknaditi zaostatak, a naša ekipa Borković i Vuković za sad je malo dozada. Nadamo se da će podignuti neki finiš, da se malo uključe u borbu. Za sada znači Španjolska sigurno i Bjelorusija, Slovenija i Turska.
So the Spanish crew are controlling the race from the front, but who's going to get second, third and fourth?
Yeah, such a tight race developing here. The Spanish absolutely dominating this race out in front, but it's anything to play between Belarus, Slovenia and Turkey for the following spots.
Dakle, evo, ulazimo u sam finiš. Španjolska je u vodstvu trenutno. Za njima slijede Bjelorusija, Slovenija, Mađarska i vidjet ćemo do kraja. Nadam se da će naši dečki naći, ako ništa drugo, za snage za jedan finiš, da ih se vidi u ovom kraju onako kako bi to trebalo biti.
So as they're coming up towards the line, Spain still out there in the lead. We're going to keep an eye on the near side of the course just to check if Hungary too doesn't try and make a move and push back on the far side of the course, the crew from Turkey. But coming across the line, Spain takes the first spot, Belarus second, coming through in third, Slovenia, and fourth looks to be Turkey there on the far side. Hungary too will come through in fifth, and just a little bit of water back to Croatia too.
Evo, kao što smo mogli sada vidjeti, to jest mogli ste neki od vas to ovdje primijetiti. Kao prva prošla je posada Španjolske, nakon njih vjerujem da je to Bjelorusija, koji ulaze u finale. Evo, čekamo još dalje da vidimo samo rezultate, tko je još i kakav je redoslijed. Slovenija je ušla treća po vremenu i sad čekamo da vidimo Mađarska, vjerujem da je stigla četvrta. I Turska. Turska, evo kaže mi moja draga Gillian da je Turska stigla četvrta, peta je Mađarska i šesti su stigli naši dečki koji ovdje skupljaju svoje prve kilometre na međunarodnim velikim natjecanjima. To je Borković, posada Borković i Vuković iz Gusara iz Splita.
Coming down the course now, the repechage race of the women's single sculls. In lane 1, Slovenia. In lane 2, Switzerland. In lane 3, Sweden. In lane 4, the Czech Republic. In lane 5, Moldova. And in lane 6, Croatia.
Dakle, krenula je i repesaž utrka ženskih skifova. U prvoj se pruzi nalazi veslačica Slovenije, u drugoj Švicarske, u trećoj Švedske, u četvrtoj Češke, u petoj Moldavije i u šestoj naša Bruna Milinović.
They've come through the 500-meter mark, and the best at that early stage of the race was the sculler from the Czech Republic, Kristina Fleiserova, and she's looking really good, really strong out there in the lead, but it's still quite a close race. Again, these athletes competing side by side for the first time this weekend after coming through the time trial earlier on this morning. So right now she's out in the lead, but four will go through to the A final, and right now it looks to be the Czech Republic followed by Slovenia, Switzerland, and Sweden to claim those four spots. Still lots to play here as we come up towards the middle of this race.
Yeah, it's been a strong start for Czech Republic's Kristina Fleiserova. We normally see her competing in the women's double scull, but she's here in the single scull, and she's making a really beautiful first part of this race. She's got a really fluid rhythm. She's not a high-rating sculler. She's at 32 strokes a minute, but the fluidity of her rhythm is really moving her well through these early stages. So back from her, the closest to her right now is Switzerland's Salome Ulrich, and then Sweden's Louisa Kleisen.
Trenutno na 1000 metara u vodećoj poziciji je češka veslačica, ali ni njezina kolegica iz Švedske ne zaostaje puno, ali Švicarka i Slovenka su vrlo blizu, tako da za sada uvjerljivo su se izdvojile u 4 mjesta koja vode u finale. U ovoj utrci nastupa i naša Bruna Milinović, trenutno u borbi za 5. mjesto sa moldavskom veslačicom.
With 4 crews to qualify from this repechage, we're starting to see those 4 boats establish themselves amongst this 6-boat lineup. So, in amongst those 4 boats, leading the way, it's still the Czech Republic's Kristina Fleiserova, closest to her, second through the 1,000 meters, Salome Ulrich of Switzerland, Louisa Kleisen, and Nina Kostan Isaac of Slovenia. So these 4 scullers have now established some open water ahead of the scullers from Moldova and Croatia. It's looking good for these qualifying spots to the A final. So coming through this third quarter of the race, and in sight of you, Tim, do you think we've got these 4 qualifying slots sewn up?
Yeah, Kathy, I think so. Most of the times in this single sculls event, you can see a great turn of pace and speed with the single, but you can see that most crews go out with intent to get a margin on the rest of the field, and especially in a repechage like this, it's very important to get out in front as soon as you can, and then you can just be relaxed, because rowing when you're in front of the race it's always more comfortable and more relaxing than rowing from second, third or fourth. So scullers like to get out in front, and I think these scullers have taken that lesson to heart, and they are rowing away from the scullers from Moldova and Croatia. So 4 crews abreast, well, not abreast exactly, because that Czech sculler you mentioned, Catherine, is out in front by almost a boat length in the lead, but she is looking very comfortable at 31 strokes a minute, but several crews there dropping back to 30, perhaps even 29 strokes a minute with 500 meters left to go. These 4 scullers look safe to go to the A final tomorrow, and there's an awful lot of work to do for the scullers from Moldova and Croatia to get back in contention and get a place in the A final.
Na prolazu na 500 metara Čehinja vodi 2 dužine otprilike ispred Švedske, Švicarska i Slovenija odozada. Znači vjetar je malo pojačao, znači opet imamo bočni vjetar. Za 5. i 6. mjesto se bore Moldavija i naša Bruna Milinović. Bruna vodi otprilike dužinu, ima još 500 do kraja, nadamo se da će pobijediti. Rekli smo, napravila je tranziciju sa 1 vesla na 2, tako da to nije lako, samo naprijed Bruna. Kao što smo rekli, prva 4 mjesta vode u A finale i to su ova 4 cure: Češka, Švedska, Švicarska i Slovenija.
So 300 meters left to row. I think it's safe to say that it's going to be a first spot for the sculler from the Czech Republic, but second, third and fourth is still within contention by the Slovenian, Swiss crew and the crew from Sweden. So lots of sprinting, well, perhaps a bit of sprint for the honor, for the psychological mind games perhaps to see in the final 200 meters of this race.
That's right, Tim. They're heading towards us, and it's looking fantastic indeed for those first four scullers trying to qualify directly through to the A final. I think Moldova and Croatia having quite a bit of work to do, and probably a bit too late to try and catch up to these four scullers here out in the lead.
Tim je jako dobro rekao, dakle, ove prve 3-4 posade će napraviti sada finiš, ne bi li pokušale dobiti određenu psihičku prednost za sutrašnja finala. Kako se sada trenutno čini, da će posade Slovenije, Švicarske, Švedske i Češke biti te koje će ući u finale.
So coming through to the line, the Czech Republic still out there in front. Louise Claesson of Sweden looking to take that second spot. And then we go 1, 2, 3, 4 in a line. So Czech Republic, Sweden, Switzerland, and then Slovenia. Those four will take the spots directly through to the A final out of this repechage. And Croatia and Moldova just missing out. We'll see them back again in the B final.
Dakle, nekako gotovo u pravilnom rasporedu u ciljnu ravninu su ušle kao prva veslačica Češke, potom je to bila veslačica iz Švedske, pa iz Švicarske i četvrta je došla naša susjeda veslačica iz Slovenije, a potom su peto i šesto mjesto osvojile Milinović Bruna, naša iz Hrvatske, i moldavska veslačica.
Right, 750 or something.
Coming down the course now, the repechage of the lightweight men's double sculls. In lane 1, Switzerland 2. In lane 2, Austria. In lane 3, France 1. In lane 4, France 2. In lane 5, Turkey 2. And in lane 6, Turkey 1.
Krenule su i utrke lakih veslača u dvojcu na pariće. Dakle, u prvoj stazi je posada Švicarske 2, u drugoj Austrije, u trećoj Francuske 1, u četvrtoj Francuske 2, u petoj Turska 2 i u šestoj Turska 1.
So the first four crews will go through to the A final, but it's looking like a very tight race at the front of the field, Kat.
Yeah, it's close up there in front. So through this first half, France 2, that's Marcelo and Burry, have had the best advantage during that piece. So they've gone through the 1,000 meters with a second, 1.34 seconds ahead of Switzerland. But this Switzerland 2 crew looks really good to my eye over there on lane 1. They're moving really nicely together, and they're staying in touch with the French for one of these qualifying slots. Alongside them, the Austrian crew in lane 2, also moving really well. The only boat that's possibly out of it now, Turkey 1 in lane 6.
Vrlo uzbudljiva utrka na 1000 metara lakih dvojaca na pariće. Za sada posada Francuske 2 u vodstvu, ali iza njih je njihove kolege u posadi Francuske 1 vrlo blizu, a tu su i posada Austrije i Švicarske u vrlo bliskom kontaktu. I približava se i posada Turske. Kako se približavamo 500 metara, ulazimo u završnicu koja će biti vrlo napeta za 4 mjesta koja vode u finale.
France 2 still moving well through this middle section of the race. There's really a bit of a breeze now for these double sculls as they move through this third quarter. Austria have pushed on hard, 40 strokes a minute now from the Austrians to try and get back on terms with the French. Also the Swiss still moving really well in lane 1. France 1, the other crew from France also still in touch, and Turkey 2 vying for one of these 4 qualifying slots as they come towards 1500.
And with a little over 500 meters left to race, it's everything to play for. It's 3 crews abreast approaching the 1500 meter mark, and it's France 2. Yeah, I think that's France 2. That crew leading the field by canvas, followed by the crew from Austria, and on the far side we still have the Swiss in 3rd position, and the crew from France with the Olympic champion Pierre Huin in the bow seat is currently in 4th, and that crucial 4th position for a place in the A final.
U vodstvu Francuska 2, 500 metara prije kraja, slijedi sa Austrijom i Švicarskom 2, Turska 2 se bori sa Francuskom 1 za to 4. mjesto koje vodi u finale. Ovih 5 posada je vrlo izjednačeno i bit će zanimljivo između Turske i Francuske 1 da vidimo ko će ući u to finale.
So the Turkish crew number 2 have to produce a fabulous sprint to get into the A final, but how does it look like? How does it look to you in the Finnish tower, Gillian?
Yeah, Turkey 2 raising their rate. They've gone up to 37. That's compared to Turkey 1, who's down at a 29. They're looking to be out at the back at the moment, going through to the B final, but it's a fantastic race as they come towards the finish line. Again, only 4 boats allowed to go through, and there's 5 sprinting towards us at the moment.
Vrlo zanimljiv finiš, gotovo 4 posade su unutar jedne dužine i pokušavaju izboriti svoje mjesto u A finalu. Kako sada izgleda, te 4 posade su izrazito digle tempo. Trenutno, kako se čini, je na prvom mjestu jedna od francuskih posada, Gillian.
That's right, coming up to the line, the second French crew looking set to take that first spot. They'll be followed by Austria, France 1, and then Switzerland, and Turkey drops just off the back of the pack there. So incredible sprint from all 4 of these crews to get into that A final spot. Turkey 2 will take the 5th place position, and Turkey 1 the 6th place. So those 2 crews going through to the B final.
Stvarno u vrlo zanimljivom finišu. Svoje prvo mjesto izborila je posada Francuske 2, druga je stigla Austrija i treća je Francuska prva posada. Sve je to bilo unutar gotovo sekunde i pol. Koliko su stigli, 4. je druga posada Švicarske. Svi oni ulaze u finale A i potom je druga posada Turske i prva posada Turske, koji će biti i nastupiti u finalu B.
Already on the course, the repechage of the men's quadruple sculls, the last but not the least race of the day here on the course. So they're coming down in lane 1, Germany; in lane 2, the United States; in lane 3, Norway; in lane 4, the Czech Republic; and in lane 5, France.
Dakle, i zadnja utrka, ali ne posljednja, ovog današnjeg programa su četverci skull u kojima u prvoj stazi nastupa posada Njemačke, u drugoj Amerike, u trećoj Norveške, u četvrtoj Češke i u petoj Francuske.
Again, 4 crews through to the A final out of this repechage, so it's a race not to be last here. Coming through the 500 meter mark, Germany out in the lead, followed by the US, the Czech Republic, and Norway, and then France in that unfortunate 5th spot, but there's still a lot of race course left to go. They're approaching UCAT at 800 meters and still looking like Germany out in the lead.
Yeah, it's this boat from Germany leading the way here. They've got a solid rhythm at 36 strokes a minute. They're moving really well together, and that's giving them, at this stage in the race, a length advantage ahead of America alongside them. So the Americans at 37 strokes a minute, it just doesn't look quite as fluid in their boat as it does in the German boat, and I think that's detracting from their speed. And it's the Norwegians alongside the USA who are really staying in touch here for one of these qualifying spots. So Germany moving really well through this middle stage. The USA still in touch, Norway and the Czech Republic in third and fourth place, and France just continue to drop back through this second quarter into that fifth spot that unfortunately wouldn't qualify them for the final.
Na 1000 metara u vodećoj poziciji trenutno posada Njemačke, na drugoj poziciji posada Sjedinjenih Američkih Država, dok je treće i četvrto mjesto za Norvešku i Češku. Nešto zaostaje posada Francuske, ali ne toliko da ne mogu to nadoknaditi u zadnjih 750 metara utrke. Sad trenutno je pojačao vjetar, bočna kontra, tako da veslačima dosta otežava posao na ovom otvoru zadnjih 700 metara.
So moving through this third quarter of the race, it's still Germany in front. They've come down one pip to 35 strokes a minute, and the strong rhythm is continuing to give them a lead, and they've increased that ahead of the USA. So the USA closest to Germany. Back from them, it's the Norwegian crew, stroked by Olaf Tufte. The crew from the Czech Republic are still in touch with that fourth place, and this French crew hanging on there in fifth place. They're not out of touch yet. They're coming in sight of Tim, and Germany have got a convincing lead.
Kath, with 600 meters left to row, it's the crew from Germany in the lead. You can see Tim Olenaska from Rudergesellschaft Hansa in the bow seat, looking to his left to that American crew, the crew coached by Sean Hall, still in second position, but there's a good overlap between them and the crew from Norway, stroked by Olaf Tufte. They're looking calm, collected, the experienced hand in that quad. But the Czech Republic are moving with 500 meters to go. Great push from the Czech Republic to try to get ahead of the crew from Norway, and the French crew having the work to do to get back and take a place in the A final.
Uvjerljivo vodstvo Njemačke, prve 4 ekipe prolaze, Francuzi su malo dozada, treba će im jedan dobar finiš da se upletu u borbu za 4. mjesto. Inače u veslanju je po meni ovo možda je najgora situacija, ima vas 7 i jedan mora otpasti, u ovom slučaju 5. Tako da nadamo se da će Francuzi naći snage da podignu malo.
So with 250 meters left to row, the French have about 10 to 12 meters to get back on the crew from the Czech Republic, who are also moving, but Germany still out in front.
That's right, a dominant performance here from the Germans out in the lead, but it's a very tight race going on behind them. I think France is looking to miss out, but the other 3 crews going stroke for stroke here as they come into the final sprint.
Dakle, imamo posadu koja će vrlo vjerovatno pobijediti, a to su Njemci koji su trenutno u vodstvu, ali zato od 2. do 4. mjesta je vrlo zanimljiva bitka u kojoj su Sjedinjene Američke Države, Norveška i Češka. Francuska pokušava to sustići.
Germany rating at a cool 35 strokes a minute. The US has gone up to a 39. Norway's gone up to a 39. And Czech Republic up to a 40. So coming across the line, Germany taking the first spot. USA second. Norway third. And the Czech Republic fourth. Those 4 through to the A final. Unfortunately, France just missing out there. But a fantastic race in the repechage of the men's quadruple sculls.
Dakle, prva je posada Njemačke, nakon njih su obranili 2. mjesto Sjedinjene Američke Države, 3. su stigle Norvežani, 4. Česi i na kraju 5. Francuzi.
A fantastic way to end the racing here with that repechage of the men's quadruple sculls. A big thanks to everyone here on the venue and at home for listening in to these repechage races here this afternoon. We get underway tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. with some semi-finals. We then progress through D-finals, C-finals, and B-finals, with the first A-final getting underway tomorrow morning at 12:32. We go through all the A-finals tomorrow, finishing at 3:20 in the afternoon. Again, just a reminder, those finals being pulled forward from Sunday due to some expected bad weather on Sunday. So getting all those finals in tomorrow on Saturday.
Hvala vam svima koji ste pratili današnje utrke, pretakmičenja. Sutra krećemo u 10 sati sa polufinalima i nakon toga sa utrkama u D, C i B finalu, a prve finalne utrke kreću od 12 sati i 32 minute. Obzirom na to da se pretpostavlja kako će u nedjelju biti loše vrijeme, to jest previše vjetra, donešena je odluka da se utrke sa nedjelju sve prebace u subotu, tako da ćete sutra moći do negdje 4 sata popodne pratiti sva finala i kraj prvog svjetskog kupa ovdje u Zagrebu. Zahvaljujem svima koji ste bili sa nama, zahvaljujem svim svojim kolegama iz World Rovinga, svim našim volonterima, svim ljudima u organizaciji. Ovaj dan je bio lijep, vrijeme je bilo bolje nego što smo očekivali, nadamo se da će tako biti i sutra i vidimo se ponovno ujutro od 10 sati.
A big thanks to all the volunteers and officials here at the venue making this event possible. We will see you back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.